hockey, but let's start with one of the more interesting results from last night, Frank. It was a battle of the Pacific Division in Edmonton, Vegas taking on the Oilers. Connor McDavid returns and looks rather pedestrian. On the flip side of that, Jack Eichel looked like a star. It was 3 points for Eichel, and they get a late goal from Noah Hanifin to give them a 3-2 lead. It turned into a 4-2 win for Vegas. And I'll ask you a simple one. It's the title of our show. Are the Golden Knights establishing or proving themselves, cementing themselves as the class of the Pacific?
They are for me, and certainly right now. I mean, anyone that came into this season thinking that the Vegas Golden Knights were suddenly going to roll over and just roll out a red carpet for the Oilers to march to a division title is sadly mistaken. Mm-hmm. This Golden Knights team is better than they were last year. Full seasons from Hurdle, from Hanifin. I think their goaltending is probably going to be better than it was. Aiden Hill, big night in net. And another 3 points for Ivan Barbashev. Are you kidding me? That line is cooking. The Golden Knights have strength at each position, top players at each position, and they're a team that's not going to go quietly here. The big thing that I like about Vegas, attention to detail, commitment. They haven't shown up or had a night this year where you go, hey, what happened to the Golden Knights? Yet we've seen that far too many times from the Oilers so far to start. And look, I don't want to say it's almost like McDavid comes back into the lineup and the Oilers take their foot off the gas a little bit. That's certainly kind of what it felt like from afar. But really some ugly sequences too from your supposed Norris Trophy candidate and Evan Bouchard.
Yeah, Pat, I think we have that 3-2 goal that we can roll. And I mean, we don't even need to play the first Eichel goal either, because Evan Bouchard was basically doing the same thing, and that was standing around. Credit to ESPN for the highlight here. But again, Bouchard just kind of wanders in and the puck gets picked up, and he just shows no sense of urgency. Listen, the forwards on this goal need to get back quicker too. There's more to blame. You'd love a massive stop from Stuart Skinner, but when the first...
Well, that's not even the most damning one. It was the other Eichel goal, knifing through the neutral zone. I mean, he just cuts through the absolute gut of your team. You slowly get back.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, Evan Bouchard is never going to be a top-tier defensive defenseman, but that comes down to basic awareness. And the other thing is, last season at least, you kind of said, hey, we'll live with the odd defensive miscue. Granted, they weren't happening this much later in the season, but you said, hey, we'll live with them because of the offense. But right now, you look at Bouchard, and I know our guy Jason Greger did some digging, but like Evan Bouchard going into last night had 51 shot attempts that had been blocked, on pace for 321. That would smash the record for most shots blocked in a season. He had another 4 yesterday that he was firing into sticks and shin pads. So listen, we talked on the DFO rundown today about a couple of pending UFAs who are securing the bag and getting some money. Evan Bouchard heading into a contract year where he's an RFA, he's fumbling the bag. Frank, that's not a guy you can give $10 million to.
At least certainly doesn't look like it right now, and was so good in the playoffs that it certainly makes you scratch your head. But it comes down to one word that I think has defined Evan Bouchard's career going back to World Junior. Urgency. Need more urgency. And I think that's one thing that really stands out, that separates him from a lot of other defensemen in the NHL. Points are great. 82 points in a season is unbelievable. But need more than just that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Golden Knights, they get back into the top spot in the Pacific. They're technically tied with the LA Kings, but they do have a game in hand. Edmonton falls to 6-7-1 on the season. What's up, hockey fans? If you enjoyed that video, then you need to be hitting the subscribe button right here at Daily Faceoff. Exclusive interviews and analysis from our hockey insider Frank Seravalli, fantasy updates from Brock Sagan, and a daily live show at noon Eastern, Monday through Friday. You don't want to miss any of the fantastic content, so hit that subscribe button.